This perfectly demonstrates Suga's finesse as an interviewer. He opened the conversation about Joseho's clothing and his clothing line, extending the bit to draw more laughter and banter. Initially, I thought that was all he was after, some laughter. It was halfway through the interview that I realized there was more to Suga's exposition. Clothing became a major part of Seho's career, and his attitude towards it showed his growth both as a comedian and as a person. He initially revealed that he dressed above his means to cover up the fact that his career wasn't doing well. After evolving and finding success, he realized there's an actual business opportunity he can tap. He now has a clothing label specifically for shorter men like him. And much later, he said that to help other comedians elevate their profession, he makes it a point to dress up wherever he goes. This helps people look at comedians with more respect. I personally understand the importance of presenting yourself well to the public. You don't have to buy designer clothing, but it pays to make sure you look professional, neat, and confident from head to toe once you are outside your own home. What Suga started as a subject of banter in the beginning ended up being a major and unique point in an interview, opening a subject rarely talked about in any kind of interview globally. So, of the next 5 episodes, 3 of the episodes featured his bandmates, BTS members. And so it was so fun to watch how different he is when he is with his members and from how he is with other people. It was just so fun. Like you can really see how relaxed he is. He's so goofy when he's with his band members. And so it was a pleasure to just watch all these 5 episodes. All right. As I've said, I'm catching up with my BTS content. As embarrassing as it may seem after this, I'm actually going to do either In the Soup or Bon Voyage or some other documentary. Just so much. They really release so much content. I really can't keep up. And so I'm taking this opportunity to actually go back and catch up on my content. But J-Hope is back. And then Jin is going to be back soon. I'm sure in between we'll have other content. But for now, I'm catching up. I hope that you're with me. All right, if you end up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up and share the video if you can, because that's really helping my channel. And also subscribe and hit that notification button so that you don't miss a single episode. And if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. You can say anything you want to say, just be respectful. And if you can, also please follow me on other social media accounts that you see on your screen right now, especially on Twitter, formerly X. That's where I will be uploading other content. And then on Instagram will be more personal stuff. And I will be announcing some other stuff for my personal work as well. All right, on to the video. I think positive because I'm a fool. When Suga asked Jin what makes him such a positive thinker, Jin lightheartedly said it's because he is sort of a fool. Suga, of course, flat out rejected the proposition, given that Jin graduated from one of the top universities in Korea. I believe, though, that Jin means he does not have the tendency to overthink things. This actually adheres to the Adlerian psychology. Jin does his part on things and does not obsess over things he cannot control. It frees him from the negative possibilities. In Adlerian psychology, they call this your life task. This entails only concentrating and concerning yourself with your own role or your own part. If other people dislike what you do, but you know that you're doing something right, you do not concern yourself with them. This is in fact a sign of intelligence, not foolishness, and it would benefit more people to learn this principle. I want to refine my skills to the highest level of my own standard. It was noticeable how Jungkook paid tribute to his members the entire interview, but Suga made sure that the audience sees Jungkook as a solo artist by positioning himself as a fan of Jungkook. But even more important is how Jungkook evidently communicated his independence when it mattered the most. Towards the end of the interview, when Suga asked Jungkook what else he wants to achieve or his dream, Jungkook said that he wants to continue improving until he gets to the highest level of his own standards. He claimed his resolve, independence, and maturity as an artist. He isn't competing with anyone. He isn't out to please anyone. He sets his own standard, and it is what will guide him as he continues his solo career. You made me think of my own career. Yi Na-young has nothing else to prove in her career. She has headlined many successful TV series and movies. She is one of the most beautiful faces in Korea with real talent to back it up. So when Yi Na-young said that after seeing BTS needing oxygen after a performance, it made her reflect on her own life. In the course of the interview, Na-young and Suga talked about what her level of performance actually requires of her, and it's not a joke. Yet seeing how hard BTS works, what they put their bodies through, it still inspired her to wonder if she is giving as much as BTS is giving to their craft. And this demonstrates a mature and secure mindset. Instead of envy or disdain or indifference, seeing the hard work other successful people put in inspired her to reflect on her own work ethics. It tells you how she perceives and processes information. And this is the kind of mindset we must all aspire to have. Yes, I like attention. Suga touched on another subject rarely talked about among celebrities across the globe. He asked J-Hope if he was the type of person who likes attention, after J-Hope told the story of how he started dancing. And J-Hope agreed, yes, he does like the attention. What a brave guy. But J-Hope trusted that this won't be taken out of context, because the truth is the only way you can last in a profession as long as they have is if you enjoy major components and parts of that profession. Attention is a major component of being a professional performer. Wanting to perform for a living comes with wanting to have an audience. So yes, you must enjoy attention. J-Hope was brave enough to say it out loud, and the audience must be smart enough to understand that. What is the point of regret? Suga started the conversation with Jin with a recollection of when he confided in Jin during a particularly hard time for him. But he also confessed that he does not remember what Jin told him. And Jin jumped in and said that Suga has in fact taken Jin's advice to heart and actually is doing it. That is to free himself of the past, because what is the point of regretting the past? Again, this adheres to the principles of Adlerian psychology. Suga and RM were both seen reading the book The Courage to be Disliked, a book that examined Adlerian psychology. Adlerian psychology believes that neither the past nor the future exists. We only exist here and now. So bad experiences, traumatic experiences, or misfortunes of the past actually have no real or material effect on us. Trauma is caused by our own choice to have trauma, not by a past or bad experience or bad condition that happened in the past. And because it is our own choice to have trauma, the only way we can get over it is by choosing to do so. It is one of the most liberating way of thinking, something that you can adopt, but also a little intimidating because it places 100% of the responsibility on yourself, which means any immaterial misery we face can end at any time, but only if we choose to end it. But why am I clapping for other people? Real talk. Whenever you tell someone I'm happy for you, are you really happy for that person, or are you saying it just because it's the right thing to say? Jo Seho was honest enough to admit that he felt more envy towards people who were doing better than he was in the early part of his career. It was only when he was confronted with a question of why he was applauding other people that he finally paused and thought about what his actions and words really meant. It's an incredibly sensitive confession that Suga accepted with no judgment. He let Seho explain himself, and Seho did just that. Seho said that it was only when he confronted his emotion did he realize what he must do to succeed, and that is to stop desiring what other people have and just concentrate on what he can do. Suga explained he feels the same way about BTS. He has never wanted to be in the center because he doesn't believe that's the role he should be playing. And that's part of what makes BTS work as a group. They know their role and they play it to the hilt while they support each other. But where did I get the courage? Suga did not miss the opportunity to emphasize that J-Hope is the first in BTS to go solo, and he didn't disappoint. From drawing hundreds of thousands of fans in Lollapalooza to performing solo in year-end award shows to releasing an album under a non-pop genre, Suga made sure viewers knew the gravity of what J-Hope's undertaking actually mean not just for BTS, but for the entire K-pop industry. It allowed J-Hope to actually explain that he didn't do what he did to be the first. He did it because he simply wanted to experiment and push himself as an artist. However, he also revealed that it wasn't until later that he realized just how tall the order he put himself through and wondered where he got the courage. Again, there's a lesson to be learned. For us to do something great, we have to focus on the work, not on the impact it may have. But we also shouldn't sell ourselves short. When everything is said and done, we must appreciate what we have done. I'm glad I came earlier. Once again, Jungkook demonstrated his work ethic when he briefly talked about his performance at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. It was noticeable how careful he was not to shade anybody. He didn't shade the organizer or anybody else. He concentrated on himself, saying he was glad he came to Qatar earlier, which allowed him to improve the performance and learn the choreography. It's incredibly classy, but also revealing of his work ethic. He could have gone to Qatar and do what he is being asked to do. Instead, he opted to present the best performance he could pull off given the short time frame. Pen and paper. Nayeong revealed that she uses an actual pen and paper to write notes about scripts, characters, and situations she is reading. Suga said he also writes lyrics using a pen and paper. Other members, like Jimin, also write lyrics using a pen and a paper. Eminem has notebooks upon notebooks of rhymes. Other successful entrepreneurs are lovers of writing down meeting notes, schedules, and ideas, including Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft, Richard Branson, founder of Virgin Group, and others. There's something solemn with ink on a parchment, maybe even a little romantic. In the age of cell phones, digital memos, and video conferencing, some of the greatest works are still formed by hand strokes. I recently developed this habit too, and there's something about its permanence, something about the effort you make to form the letters that would form the words. It's like a dialogue between you and reality that actually makes things clearer and more concrete. I highly recommend you try it. I think my favorite part, actually, all of his conversations with, I can't even call it an interview because it really felt like he was just having a conversation with his bandmates, with his brothers. They sound so spontaneous, so natural that at some point I feel like, should we be here? Aren't you supposed to be just in your living room and just talking as friends? That's how it felt like. It was so genuine. You can really feel that this is how they are, or at least close to how they are when it's just them without the cameras. It was just so sincere, and I think that's what I love about these episodes. They are giving us a peek on how they actually converse when it's just them, when there is no set talking point, and they just really are having a conversation. It's such a pleasure to watch. I've always been a big fan of, even in movies, I like movies that are centered on friendship. And so them having this strong of a bond, I'm such a huge fan of their music. And second would be their friendship. I'm such a huge fan of their friendship. All right. I think the only part that I hate about finally going into the next part is that we're close to the end. right? We're close to the end of his season 1, and now we're gonna have to wait when he can come back and actually do season 2. But all right, let's get through it. Thank you for watching. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Of course, click the notification button, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single video, and share the video if you can. It's really helping my channel. Also, follow me on all the social media accounts that you see on your screen right now, especially on Twitter, on X, formerly Twitter. That's where I will upload other content, and then I will also be uploading some personal stuff in Instagram, personal work, and I will be announcing some stuff too very, very soon. Yeah, thank you so much. Any requests, feedback, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, just as long as you say so respectfully. Thank you.